Dudes, have you been to a convention lately? Well, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, whichever way you want to look at it, we have. And so we're going to share our thoughts. I've been to a couple the last month, Southeast Game Exchange and to Southern Fried Gaming Expo, and Sayan went to
That you consider that an expo?
Long Island Retro. that's up to you.
So
I've never been.
I'll put it in the words of my friend at work, Chuck.
Just clean it up so it's
Oh no, this was clean, but it's comes down to let me where's I will read it verbatim so it comes out like this. Oh, everybody has on their wonderful PTO messages. Yeah, I'm not. Honestly, the convention is a ripoff. Cost me $70+ just for me and my daughter to get in. Did my shopping, and then really were not. There really weren't that many vendors, and all the arcade games were messed up and broken. I am not going to go back there. I bought $500, and it was almost cost me just $100 to get in. I can't believe it. This place was a complete ripoff. Machines were broken, drunk people all around, and I probably had a better chance of looking on eBay than I did finding other games at the crappy convention. So those were his words. I agree completely. I've never been to a convention, and I've been to two, three, I mean whatever. But out of all the videos I've seen you, out of all the photos, out of everything I've watched, I have never seen a convention that has liquor, hard liquor, near arcade machines.
I'm not sure the conventions themselves, any of the ones that I've been to, sell liquor there. Now anything after the convention closed, maybe, but not at a convention. That just seems like a bad combination.
It's very packed, and it's miserable, and I don't know why people turn around and say, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is, a great convention, and this is whatever. And all this stuff, like I don't understand. Like, if you look at the junk that people were buying, they were buying pins. They weren't buying real games. They had like the new Pokemon pinball machine that was there. I just it it wasn't like oh and on and out of all the videos I've watched, there wasn't really anyone that was doing heavy hitters and stuff like that. There were honestly, well, now, like when you walked around, you'll see the photos because I dumped tons of photos. You could bring them up. There was an area where you eat that was packed with vendors last year. There was nothing. The total thing maybe had about 10 vendors, 15 vendors for video games. The rest of them were all crafts and stuff. And this guy had a little table, probably about this big, that had some video games on it, and that was it.
I don't know if you shared any of those.
I did. I dumped them all in that thing, the section on.
So here's you start off with showing off the different units that they've got on display.
Most of those were busted. These are all the prices.
There's cosplay.
I don't even know why we started with this.
because you went off on it
I hated it. I
because
was
you
so
were
miserable.
way too excited about it. I
I
got
was
Shining the Holy Ark. That's about what I want for my copy because that's about what I paid for it. But this is all Saturn stuff. Tomb Raider, $40. Panzer Dragoon 2 or SWI 125. Panzer Dragoon 100. Any NES 20, 30, 35. What was that one? Dracula? Oh, Castlevania 4. 380.
That's Dracula X.
Oh, and see this. You can tell underneath it they've got a sticker that was less.
Yep.
My thing is a lot of times with these, it's like if you've had a game long enough that you need to re-sticker it, and you're going up in price, do you really want to hold on to that game that bad? And if nothing else, if you're going to re-sticker it, put it in a different case, bag, take the old sticker off, whatever. Do not put a new sticker over the top of the old one where you can see. Like it looks like this was $339 or somewhere around there. Let's see. What's going on, Fat Russ? Drake, how y'all doing tonight? Gaming Geek Expo in North Carolina sells beer and mixed drinks at the show. Okay. Apparently,
yes.
I've been to one of those.
But do they sell mixed drinks and stuff? But I'm talking about there were people doing shots of tequila and then going to play Dodonpachi on an Astro City, breaking the Astro City. Like the arcade machines were all busted.
Yeah, that's like, going to a convention, specifically like Southern Fried Gaming Expo, where they've got a ton of arcades and pinballs, which they have the new Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machine. It's only, $10,000 if you want the standard edition. But, in the course of a weekend, they get played a lot. And, something, every once in a while, their old arcade machines. Yeah, they might stop working, and some of the pinballs as well. But it's not from people abusing them, like you were talking, like how people were just smacking the stuff and whatnot. But you need to have somebody there paying attention, so they can be like, "Hey, you need to stop doing whatever," because you need those all the conventions I've been to. I think all the arcades and pinballs are people's personal collections. They bring them in so that others can have a chance to play them, but also they usually get like a free pass for the convention in general. So Pat Ross says, I couldn't drink at a convention. It's expensive enough as it is. $15 beer's something I don't need to add to it. Well, even if you just want water, plan on taking a bottle of water or a water bottle, because most of these places should and do have at least a drinking fountain, if not bottle fillers. So even
I know I
agree
with you. What's up, Josh?
How's it going, Josh?
So, this guy
I'm gonna scroll through some of the pictures as we're chatting and whatnot. And so if there's anything that pops out, you can.
There was this guy playing Robotron, and it looked like he was just beating someone up.
Dude,
that
didn't. That's Robotron.
That's not Robotron. That's Pong. That's the original.
I was about
Pong.
to say, Robotron.
That was. I spent 5 minutes trying to get that thing to work, and I couldn't. That
the Pong machine?
No, go back. That guy was super cool.
Oh, Aliens?
Yeah. And my friend turns around to me and says, "What the hell's the census? We could just play it on the Mister." And we just left.
Because, well, that's kind of a silly statement from someone that collects games. Because you can play all this stuff on the Mister. It's playing it on an arcade cabinet. There's something special about that. Space War or something.
It is it's Space War. It's
That's
not Pong. It's
yeah.
Space War. The Pong machine is similar to that. Yeah, this guy was like just
This doesn't have any. Oh no, there's a price on Night Warriors for $50.
yes, but I could tell you right now for Wonder. I only did that because of Conception. That was 1600.
That Panzer Dragoon Saga. Long Island Convention looks cool at the Airplane Museum. That's what this one is. Fat Russ saying is not a fan of it. We had talked about me trying to get up to New York or something up that way to go to a convention, but prices being what they are, especially for flights, it's kind of prohibitive, and it's a bit of a long drive. Custom Pong machine. Does it have a giant one like they do at the National Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas? In Texas?
Yeah, but you know, Russ, that's it. It seems very cool in an airplane museum when logically you think about it, but you have to now. Here's the concept behind that. You have airplanes in a museum, and those take up space, and then you have tons of people going into that space, and then you have free play systems in that space as well. So you know what happens? You create a thing called the perfect storm. Yeah, what?
It's a bottleneck.
It's a well, yes, it's a bottleneck, because what happens is you have all these people that are there, and there's nowhere to move, because not only do they have like these big gigantic displays, kind of like my 3 tanks back here for Pan Air, but then you have machines in front of it, and it's massive. Like, you have gigantic World War II planes, people all around that, and then like they had stuff roped off. Who's getting drunk? Who's playing the games? Who's like breaking the machine? There was one guy that was on a machine. He was slamming the machine like crazy.
But that's why I say that they need to have somebody there that can go up and be like, "Oh, hey, you need to stop doing that, or you're gonna have to leave." You know, they need to have security or whatever.
The one system that I want really bad, which is the Sharp 6800. It's like I looked it up, and I was completely wrong. It was a $66,800 system. Thank you. It was a $6,800 system, and I didn't know that. I thought it was cheaper. And basically, there was this lady who was the Sharp 6800X, and there was this lady that was allowing her kid to punch the keyboard. The keyboard is a $450 keyboard for the system. Alone is $450, and
the price does not matter to them. It doesn't matter if it's a $5 keyboard or a $5,000 keyboard. The problem is you're letting your kid tear up something that does not belong to them or to you.
And again, now you see this. You see this
here.
Need to
have somebody there that can be like, "Hey, you're going to stop, or you're going to leave."
You see this?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, okay. You can see some of the airplane stuff back behind the CRTs.
So, you want to get a laugh? Zoom in on the right side. That's duct tape holding the monitors together. That's duct tape. Duct tape. It doesn't even go halfway down.
It goes
that is duct tape
over
monitors.
That's interesting.
Duct tape monitors. Yes, it's New York. Yes, I know we jerry rig stuff and we have kaiju rats running around. And I mean, New York is messed up at duct taped monitors. Now that is something. Just my friend said to me, "Oh wow, look at this monitors," and I said, "Oh, that's cool. How did they get that? Did they put them on shelves?" No, he says they're duct taped.
He's
Now
duct
you're
taped
gonna
up.
notice too in the photo that OS has before this one. Well, you can see it now. You see this little lonely GameCube sitting on the left over here that has the cable coming out. That GameCube left with someone. It just disappeared. Someone unhinged it, put it in their backpack, and went behind the display and boop, walked out with it. That we got stopped when we were leaving
Why duct tape?
Friday night, and they were like, we noticed the GameCube was missing, and they were checking people's bags on the way out.
Yeah, by
This
the time they noticed it, the person was long gone.
this Turbo Duo had the newest TurboGrafx
That EverDrive or Flash drive,
EverDrive in
whatever.
it. The one that could play CDs too, because that's a CD game. That's Lords of Thunder. That completely disappeared. The system was turned off. The EverDrive was pulled out, and it was gone. Now this is at a retro convention. That's Virtual On. We were playing that. We were playing that. Next to it is Steel Battalion.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to play Steel Battalion. This kid comes right up, like cheek to cheek next to me, and is telling me how to play Steel Battalion. And I didn't there it is set up in all its glory. Um I didn't say anything, and he was just showing me. I got up calmly and I said, "Why don't you test it out and I'll take videos of it so I know how to play it at home." Um After that we just kind of left. EverDrives were missing. A lot of EverDrives were missing. That's him and all his oh my god, I love this stuff. But yeah, I mean, come on, double pricing.
Yeah, that looks like that might actually be a 2 underneath
That was a 2. That was a 2. That was
Because
2 something. Because the vendor before this went to Southeast Gaming Exchange and had that game and knew they were not going to get New York prices for it. And New York prices, I was told that people will percentage up New York prices because we pay, I think it's like 7 or 8% sales tax, and he was going to bump the prices even more. I just it so I'll say this. Um I'm not going to go back to LI Retro. I'm gonna do the most I'm gonna do is gonna be the holiday show that they have. It's one day. It's in December. I've been to it. It's very calm. Not a lot of people. They have arcade machines, and you won't get the volume of people like you did with this. So maybe there was 150 people, 200 people when I went last time. Um, that I will go to in December, but I refuse to go back to LI Retro. I think from here on out, it's probably just going to be Connecticut and then Syracuse, and whenever I find like a con in between or something. But it was just
well, I
gross.
mean, if you are looking to buy games, Southeast Game Exchange is the best convention I've been to for that. Which is
Good transition.
what we're looking at now. But like your friend said, I'm not sure it's worth going to conventions.
Well, here so just like, and I'm glad you said that because I'll tell the story real quick before we get into that. So like I told you and everyone there was I wanted Lunar Silver Star for Sega CD. It was $430. The vendor had it for. I said to him, "Would you
That's a
take?
card game.
Would you? Oh, the card game. Would you take $225 for it?" He said, "No, it's the most I'll do is 400, and that's it." I looked on eBay. I found it for 210. I said, "Okay, this is it on eBay. This is $210." That was it. I showed him on eBay 210. Buy it right now. I said I'll even pay the tax. So I said I'll give you
Keep going.
230. Okay. So I said I'll pay you 230 for it. He told me in less colorful words. Well, if you want to go buy it on eBay, then maybe you should bleep bleep
And go buy it on eBay.
and bleep bleep and my
Yeah.
friend told me, like when I was talking to my friend Chuck, he said, "Well, you paid to have a vendor say that to you," and he was totally right about that because I paid admission fee to get
Yep.
I'm never again. It will not be never again.
Well, and that's the kind of thing that like you need to let the organizer know, hey, this vendor was whatever. Because you can, if the owner, operator, whatever thinks that that's not acceptable, then they can tell that vendor, well, you're not coming back here because I've had too many complaints about it. But it's just the price to go to conventions, especially if you are traveling far and if you are staying the night, kind of makes it, in my opinion, where I'm at now in collecting, like it's not really worth it because Southeast Game Exchange. So this is the indie game studio area. So I'll tab through those as I'm doing my spiel.
That's one thing I honestly have to say. I was very upset about that. The indie people got pushed upstairs and there was only 3 indie people and that was it. And when I asked the guy, one of the guys had a shmup, it was very interesting. And I got his
Here's a
information.
shmup, Strato Smash.
I
Strato
asked
Skirmish.
him,
Go check it out on Steam.
I
My favorite indie game that I played.
I asked him, I said, what happened that you guys are now pushed, upstairs and stuff? And he said they really didn't want a lot of indie people here. And we got pushed upstairs. And when I tell you their table was like the size of a kindergartner's desk, it was relatively small, like to the point for, maybe like 2 monitors and that was it. And he said
Yeah.
not really a lot of people are interested in these games, and this is probably going to be our last time going here.
There's me and my getup.
So Russ, there wasn't even enough space to even put signs.
Obviously loud, but so this is just a line to get in to watch or to get an auto with Scott the Waz.
Who?
Or no, wait, that might have been the Red Dead Redemption people. And then there was there's the Drinker Chaser, and there's Scott the Waz, and so this is the line for Scott the Waz.
Who's that?
He's a YouTuber. I don't know. So then back to indie stuff. But like when you're looking at conventions, there's a lot that goes into it that I think people need to really start looking at. Because I got in and I got this $200 game for $150. Well, you paid $50 just to get into the convention. So did you save anything?
Not really.
I just go for all the other stuff that's not games, signs, toys, shirts, stuff like that. That's kind of the stuff that I'm looking for as well, because I'm not really looking for a bunch of games. But for these conventions, like I said, if you're staying overnight, it makes the cost to get in and all that stuff a lot more than it might be worth it to you to pay.
While you're doing this, do you want me to load photos from the Connecticut convention I went to last year?
No, we're just gonna do the ones that we've been to this year.
Connecticut was really good.
We can talk about the Connecticut one when you go this year. Kiro Kiro Cowboy was a Game Boy Advance game, and I was actually looking at picking up the physical copy, but when I went over on Sunday, they had sold out.
So they did have physical copies
They had physical copies and this was an indie game.
For their indie games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's what I like about this is that, and even at Connecticut too, it was very spaced out. But you have a lot of space.
There's a lot. This was well spaced out, but this was just one aisle and not even the main aisle from when you come in or anything. I mean, it's pretty packed. Like this was Saturday. Saturday, I didn't even look at anything at the convention. And getting back to the cost of going to the conventions, This one, all said and done, was probably $700 to $1,000. That's not including travel time, but just money out of pocket to get into the convention and to stay and for food. Yeah, you'd eat food anyways, but you would not have spent as much food because you can cook at home. You get local places that could probably be cheaper. So, all said and done, it was, like I said, $700, maybe up to $1,000 just to go to the convention. And I didn't buy a single game. I bought a couple other things, but like Fat Russ said, there's other things you go for. If, like, I met up with a bunch of people, and I think I've got some pictures with some people. I'm pretty bad about that. So this was the parking lot. This was the overflow back end of the overflow parking lot. Like, you can see this fence back here. So the car there. So all of these cars, the cars in the middle right here, are blocked in. They cannot get out until either somebody behind them or in front of them goes away. Well, here's another row of cars. Here's another row of cars. And so these people aren't blocked in. These people are. These people are. Once you get back that way. And I think there was another row over here. Like, this was supposed to be empty. There were not supposed to be people back here. We're parked in this lane right here.
I have a video up of the LI Retro, like a walkthrough of it. It's not that long. So when you're done with this, I could share my screen and we can go through it, and you people could see like what it's all about and how crowded it is.
And this was a weed. We were parked in, so the weed got closed in the door when we went to what was it? Whataburger. We got out, and that was just sitting there next to it. So we dragged this poor little weed down the interstate, and it died there in the parking lot. There was my burger. People parking. Fred. So this is the parking lot.
Gravel?
People parking where they're not supposed to park. They were just making their own parking spots. Parking was horrendous on Saturday. So there's one about an hour from me now, so I don't have to worry about hotel. Yeah, and that's why we only do one day for Southern Fried Gaming Expo now. I enjoy Whataburger. It's nice. It's different because we don't have that locally.
What's Whataburger?
It's a fast food burger joint. So here's just, I don't know if this might be Sunday. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, that was Saturday night. There's some Neo Geo games. That one was, just for saying. They'd actually
Even the
sold
prices,
one. That was from the local shop. This place had 10 games for $20.
Yeah, but even your prices there are a lot better than what they were here.
I didn't spend a ton of time looking because I'd met up with Innovision Games. He's another YouTuber. And I was hanging out a little bit with him and his family. Unfortunately, when we went back to the convention, Prin forgot her badge, so she had to go back to the hotel. And this was the night we thought that the convention went till 10. Well, it did, but the vendor hall closed at 6. And if we had known that, she wouldn't have gone back to get it. But here's just people playing VR. Just looks like they're spazzing out. This is an indie game, Durga.
You had enough space in there for people to play VR?
Yeah. So did Southern Fried Gaming.
Go back.
To this.
Holy wow. Oh,
wow.
That's huge.
That's a huge.
How big is this thing?
It was basically the top floor of most of the convention center. It was
they even had space for a department store?
No, that was when we went to the mall here. This was the Sunset. But It's Toys R Us.
I'm blown away. Oh well, Toys R Us.
It's what
I'm blown away. They had
Toys R
enough
Us has been
space for VR.
reduced to. There's a
It,
Coraline doll.
is that that's cosplay?
No, that's a doll.
No.
Yeah.
How much they want for that?
I didn't even look.
Oh man, I
There's
would
some things
totally
that you
put
know
that
are
in.
just gonna be ridiculous in price.
I would totally put that in
So,
my kid's room and freak them
Jason
out.
Voorhees has died of dysentery. The Princess dysentery. You have died of dysentery. Ken and Ryu have died of
Oh.
dysentery.
Oregon Trail.
Dracula has died of dysentery. The Ducks have died of dysentery. Kefka has died of dysentery. Paperboy has died of dysentery. Jaws has died of dysentery. I just thought that those were funny. Here's one section. Just tons and tons and tons of games. Yeah, I thought those were hilarious, Drake. Those were
Those
so
are
much
pretty
fun.
cool.
Here's
That's pretty cool.
here's a guy that was cosplaying as Green Goblin, as you can tell. Somebody was selling this is aluminum.
Did it work?
No,
That would be cool if it did.
it would not be difficult. You just have to have the machine to do it. You cut it in two slices,
Oh, and
and
then
then put
just
it
go
together
from
and put the
there.
board in it. I don't know if it would have anything, if it would mess with the heat. It's aluminum, so I wouldn't think so. There's Alf. That's
Oh, there's Alf.
So that's just me meeting up with a couple people. The one game I wanted right there, Shadowrun. And it's funny because like I didn't see it, and it's the one guy that I was like, I'm just looking for one game, Shadowrun, and he's like, it's right here. And I was like, oh, before you get excited, the most I pay for any retro game is $60. And he had it at 110. He's like, I could go down to 90. I was like, I can't do it. I wish I had remembered to take some of the stuff I meant to for trades, but the one game I was looking for, I found it, but it was outside my price range, so I didn't get it. And seeing what it's going for on eBay and stuff these days, there's a pretty good chance I will not be getting it. This is the car from it's one of the Virtua Fighters.
It's Daytona, USA.
Oh crap, I can't think of
Daytona, USA had the car in Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, it's the car from Daytona USA, but there was a fighting game that had that, so that's what he is cosplaying as, and that's the Crisis Zeal. That's him in there. He was sweating like it was 4,000 degrees, but he'd carry that little thing around and walk around in it, and I thought it was there's him walking off in it. I thought it was hilarious. I think I got I've got a couple pictures of me in it just because it's funny.
Did it smell in there? I hope not.
No, it didn't.
Okay, I was about to say.
That's the thing, Fat Russ, is have the limit that you're like, know what you're looking for and have the limit that you're willing to pay for it.
Facts. Yep, so true.
So here was a guy dressed up as Alan Grant. I thought it was a pretty good cost. I talked to him for a few minutes. It was pretty cool. Good kid. So this was a vendor's table at the end of the event. And that thing was slam full before. They had almost nothing to take home.
Vendor's table for what? For video games?
Yes. All of those tables were almost, were full and then some.
Wow, really?
They sold so many things. They started packing up the cases and stuff early. There was a Neo Geo, another thing for sale.
Yeah, but now that's the interesting thing. I was looking at this. So if you look at the price, $800 for the system with that controller. That's a $350 controller. So just the system's 500. With that, and if he was including the games,
I don't think. I don't know. I don't think the games were included. I'm not
but
sure.
either way, $800, I would have jumped on that like immediately. That's worth it. Like I said, that's a $350 controller and a 500. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you're about. I bet you probably could ask him maybe $700, and he definitely would have done it.
Maybe.
That's a good price, I
So
think.
this was one of the few things I picked up. Was a Ultraman blocky. And here's like they're blind boxes. So I put it together in the car. I was starting to get a headache. So Prince our driver was like, "Oh well, here I'll put this together." So put it together
Can I ask you why did they call them blockies?
because they do.
Hmm.
They're model kits. So I don't know, but I just thought it was a pretty cool shot. And that might be it. Yep. That was it for the Southeast Game Exchange.
All right.
But it's just, it's, it's all up to the individual people about how they feel about what they're getting out of it. But for me, I just don't know. Like just going for just the convention, not worth it to me.
Nah.
Going because you're meeting up with people and hanging out with people, and there's some of that odd stuff you can find. Cool, but unfortunately, a lot of that odd stuff is quite expensive. Unfortunately, so
Let me know when you have this up.
now we're moving on to Southern Fried. Oh, you got the stuff for Long Island Retro up?
Yeah, we blew through that, so I wanted to do this.
Well, I'm trying not to dwell on it too long because if there's anything anyone wants to see or has questions about, feel free to ask. It's just
Here, go ahead and I guess bring this up. I could jump through it quick. All right. So this is at like 3 speed, whatever. So this is when like you walk in and they were like selling shirts and stuff.
was that this year or last year?
This was this year. You'll probably see me in this multiple times. But this is how packed it was. And like these are the vendors and this is your like this is only Smash Brothers, nothing else.
Oh,
This is
especially. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's packed.
This is just just opening, and these are like the vendors. But now here's the problem. So as he's walking through, this guy was selling his arcade machines. You're
Yeah.
already bumping into people trying to get in, and I don't know who puts a claw machine there, which is kind of weird.
And
But
then slides in a commercial. I mean, what the two
I
commercials?
mean,
What the
wow,
heck?
2 commercials. You know the hell with you, YouTube. But I mean, so now here's the problem. There's the liquor station. Right as soon as you walk into the arcades, and that's hard liquor. And this is like when we left, there were beer, that's the machine I was on right there. There was beer bottles stacked up on this machine. And nobody was cleaning it up. Now, tell me this isn't packed. Look at this. You have massive planes in here. Where are you going? Wow, oh my god, look at the nose of the plane right in my face. Where are you going to play stuff?
I mean, I can see the draw to having it in a airplane museum, but it does make it cramped quarters. I mean,
This is it was I mean that was pretty cool. I think that was
pretty cool. The thing is, you need to have a Street Fighter game in front of one of those jets or something.
they don't. And then like you go down here and that's it. That's all the arcade machines for this floor.
Uh,
So then, like, this is where they threw these guys in here, and they're all on the side.
There's a Mortal Kombat guy. He gets to a lot of conventions.
This is the guy that was charging $4,000 for Earthbound and the Pikachu box. These are the vendors. This vendor has nothing set up.
That
There's
may be that a vendor didn't show up.
Oh no, he showed up. He just says I'm showing up late because this show stinks.
Must be a tax write-off or something.
He got robbed last year. That's why. So then this right here is the indie. That's all that's indie. That's it. This is your indie station. Guy was selling
like
some stuff.
But I mean,
doing
like that does not look packed.
You should see day 2.
No, but I'm saying right now it doesn't. I can understand if it gets more packed.
I mean, there's this is like I was bumping into people left and right. That's the guy that I tried to do the deal with for the Dinosaur Peak, and he was dead set on whatever. Now tell me, look at this scenario right here, Owaz, and tell me if you wanted to view the video games, how would you do that? It would be in between, the Zelda Deku Master.
That's why the second day of Southeast Game Exchange, I didn't go in and look at any video games because it was so crowded.
I mean, you're gonna walk past Zelda Master or a guy with nice bold spot. So it's like, and then you can't. Okay, now you see this, trying to get past people shoulder to shoulder.
That's at a game convention. At times, that should be normal.
This isn't, but come on.
At times of the day, that's going to be normal. I mean, I can pull up
but
the Southeast Game Exchange when we walked around on Sunday. The problem is they did cram or pack in a lot of stuff in a small space. Like there's not a ton of room in between it, so it makes it feel like there's more people there or more stuff going on than there is.
I mean, this was like the whole of retro stuff, and this is all it is. It's set up on tables, flimsy tables, and then there you just sit here and you just play things on plastic folding chairs, and that's it. And this is like your free play section.
That's not really that different from a lot of other areas. They have them sitting up on tables and they have metal folding chairs instead of.
Oh no, this was completely different from Connecticut. Connecticut's was huge. It was a gigantic area, and they weren't tables.
But the thing is, they do not have a huge open area because it's a museum. The location causes a lot of these problems because there's
it's miserable.
Yeah, you're putting all this stuff in between the exhibitions or the exhibits at the museum. So yeah, there's not a ton of open space. I mean, like they're going around all the planes and back, curving all around. It seems, like I said, it's cool. It's a cool setting, but it doesn't work very well.
Whatever this guy is, and there was the Neptune.
Oh, that was probably Adam Karolek.
There's your Neptune and whoever.
Yeah, the guy in the blue shirt right there is Adam Karolek.
But I mean that
good neighbor State Farm is there.
And
it's Jake from State Farm.
But I mean, this is like the guy's just sitting there hanging out. This was like in a room with computer stuff, and then like you go around, and these are all things like you could win, and this was like, just to give you an idea, an Eagle Eye view. This guy was ridiculous.
Is that GameSpot 88?
No. He wasn't there. That's the convention floor. These are all the vendors. That's it.
Yeah.
This is miserable. And then there's one vendor back here and two other vendors.
I don't know if I've got any other.
And these
It's
were
a
the
mess. I
arcade.
really don't like how it's so disjointed and so separated across all these different areas.
It's very it, and the up here is like just all the Pan Am exhibits and stuff that like you couldn't, that were just whatever. But that was it. It really. I'll stop sharing. But it was really condensed. Like you could see how it was very close quarters.
Yeah. Well,
People look
it's limited space because you're in a museum. It seems. I mean, they may just keep doing it because that's what they've been doing, but it would be better off going someplace like a convention center or someplace that has big open spaces so you can spread out some and you're not around all of this other crazy stuff. So,
Exactly. When I went to Connecticut, Connecticut was massive and there was so much space. Even with all the people they had, you were still able to walk around. What really upset me was the fact that I love pinball machines and I could play pinball machines all like for so long, and the pinball machines were busted. And it was just really upsetting that I couldn't play them.
yeah. So
And
this was used to be a part of the convention center. They're tearing it down for Southern Fried Gaming Expo and building something, extending the convention center space because it was kind of like a little mall. So the first thing that we saw when we walked in was the bridal show. This is what you want to see with your gaming stuff, right? But the thing is, let me see if I can. I'll jump to
a bridal show wouldn't be
some of the
bad. That's pretty
pinball
cool.
stuff so you can see. So there was Munchkin playing Jurassic Park pinball. Like if you want to play pinball, you need to come to Southern Fried Gaming.
Unfortunately, that they had the Jurassic Park pinball there, and I liked that one, and it was busted. Somebody pulled the thing out, and
Plunger.
it was and it was hanging out of it.
Like I would, just going off of what you said, like I would not take anything if I was to ever go to Long Island Retro. I would not take anything. I would not bring anything there.
I
There's
wouldn't
people
want
that are
you to
out,
go to Long Island Retro.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds or thousands of dollars in damage and repairs and stuff. But this is Sonic the Hedgehog pinball. We got to play it a few times. Actually, looks pretty neat.
It does look really cool.
Unfortunately, it's quite expensive. I don't know if I got any pictures of.
How expensive are you talking about?
If you want just the basic one, it's $10,000.
Oh my God, no way.
I'm trying to think. Look, Robotnik pops out. I think it's like the lines for these usually aren't too bad either. So if you want to play, you're gonna have some time, so you get to play. Yeah, it's the brand new Sonic. And there's Robotnik right there. He comes out and says something. So this is the special edition. Once that ends, this was the special edition one, and I think it's just because it had this topper.
The topper's nice.
And that one was 13 or 14,000, and this one, Robotnik and Sonic move on the top of it, so it's integrated into the pinball machine, so it reacts what's going on with the pinball. Ever have the Pinball Expo, since a lot of machines were made here. Cool. I don't know if I know when I did my walkthrough, I took a bunch of pictures or video of the
Oh wow, was that Night Trap? How were the prices here?
Well, that's so. This is the way. If you're in the hotel when you come up, this is like the area that you come into. This was an RPG room. where you could go in and play role playing games.
Tabletop?
Tabletop.
Oh, damn.
All these tables set up. And this was early Sunday morning. I bet you Saturday night those things were full. This is an area back here with all these empty seats. That's where you can get board games and go and play. They have board games over here, and they've got or may have been one or two people showing off their.
Before you go
board
into
games.
this, how well laid out was how was the floor plan for this? Like, was it very well put together with like sections grouped together?
Yes, and
Okay.
they've done better, but because as they expand, like the vendor hall and arcade machines and pinball are off in a different area, and because they're doing that
Okay.
construction,
Okay.
you had to actually exit the building and then go in. You had to go in an exterior door to get back in.
Not bad.
Yeah, this was an area in that area that was just selling a bunch of crocheted stuff.
Crocheted stuff.
Crocheted stuff.
You know, I
Little
found those
figures.
people are like some of the nicest people. Sorry
Huh?
to say, the crochet people stuff.
Yeah,
Like they're super nice.
yeah. So here is where you had to exit out, and then this area over here that you can't really see is where you had to go back in. And this is where you're entering the. This is the vendor hall and pinball and everything else.
Those are interesting.
So this I'd walked into. I think this was the third. They had 3 long halls, basically warehouses.
Oh, MVS games.
This is was basically the yard sale. So they set up a dozen tables where people can bring in stuff to sell. And that's just a picture showing off at a distance. So Munchkin and I played some DDR.
Oh, Dance Dance.
Yep, Dance Dance Revolution. Unfortunately, part of you couldn't change the difficulty on the left-hand side, so it made it interesting. The Stern factory is in the Chicago. That's cool, and I'm glad that they're still in business because pinball.
Stern Factory.
Not that part. Oh, so this is was a vintage computing area. This entire, all of these purple tables were vintage computers. There's a tic-tac-toe machine or computer from 1961.
Drake remembers that. Drake has vast knowledge of old computers.
Yeah, here's that vintage computer, but they sell some stuff to raise funds and whatnot. So you got all these little Coleco arcades.
Oh, wow.
All of those.
You could buy that?
Yeah, you can buy those. They had
I think the hell?
Got some more pictures. Yeah. So here you have some keyboards for $5, and then the digital T28. I don't know, some kind of computer. But then more keyboards. There you can get your little Mac machines. There's
That's
an iMac.
That's actually really cool.
ECF.
What would people do with those old machines?
You hook them up and play stuff on them and use them. Or you sit them someplace and let them gather dust. Here's a couple monitors. Here you got a printer, scanner. There's a bunch of different books. There's a flashback.
That's
LCD
awesome.
Games. There's
See,
a
like,
C64
this is
Mini.
like right here, just with the photos you're showing, you could tell like what's a really serious convention and what's a joke. And if you compare this to LI Retro, this thing is like massive. It's amazing. Like already
This
on.
is- But this is, I think the first time we went was in 2018, and it was much smaller then. They didn't have any of this area over here. It was just that main area. Like I said, I could pull up the walkthrough that I did. And here's some more stuff. There's vintage computing stuff. Image software.
Back.
Here's a Capcom board for an arcade machine. X-Men Children of the Atom. Yeah. Some Atari games. There's a ColecoVision, some Atari stuff. So, and this was all from the yard sale. There's Dan Kitchen. New games for the Atari 2600. It's bad, but like the 2600 does not really do much for me, so I don't really pay much attention to it. I mean, it's cool they're still making games for it and people are enjoying it and stuff, but just not for me. So if you are, there's Dan Kitchen. Games that he worked on. And then Casey's Gold and Rescue from Poseidon's Gate. I didn't want to get drawn in, so I didn't mess with those. Once you're doing this through Discord, you have here we have some of the prices of stuff. Like Dreamcast Spider-Man, $90. The first John Madden game, $150. Secret of Evermore, $40. Punisher, $160. There's an e-reader for $70. There's a Lynx, $220. But the CD backup ROM cart for $200. The only people that are going to buy that are collectors, because you can buy a different RAM cart for it that's even better now. Resident Evil Code Veronica, Marky Mark, some other games, Blue Stinger, Silver. Was it Walter Day? Walter Day and Billy Mitchell, they were there. They were selling hot sauce and some other stuff. Yeah. Regardless of what you think of Billy Mitchell, he could play Pac-Man. He was good at it. Whether or not he cheated when he did those records. Drake, here's one of the molding machines. The Mold-O-Matic. This is the one that had Mickey Mouse in it. We already looked at the pinball stuff. Here is more. Another Capcom board, Street Fighter Alpha 2. $500 for the Street Fighter Alpha 2. Vampire Savior, $650. Getting an Atari 5200. I guess that came with Dig Dug. And you got controller. Saiyans missing. Oh, Saiyans back. All right. There you get a little controller for $20.
I like that. I was going to ask you when you sent that to me, what controller was that? I really liked it.
I think they made that for the NES.
It looked cool.
I think my brother may have had one of those. But there's some NES games. There's Night Trap for $85.
Wow, really? Damn, that's come down in price. What is this?
This is part of a prototype for Dark Planet. And he had a bunch of like just miscellaneous this stuff was unfortunately the house that this unit was in from the original creator was caught in fire. So like this is the control deck off of the prototype and what's left of it, and some of the melted plastic and stuff that survived. There's a mold that was in it that kind of melted some. But he had, here's a drawing of the marquee that would have been on the arcade. Just different sketches and stuff.
Oh wow, Paperboy.
Some pictures of it, but he had like prints. It looked like it was vellum prints of the like a circuit board layout. And here's it was for Eagle. I played that game. Oh, here's the board again. This might have been Dark Planet. I thought I got a picture. I don't have to see. There's some Perler art. You got Burger Time, Sonic and Tails, and then a bunch of stuff.
Do you ever buy any of that stuff?
The first couple of years we bought some Perler stuff. There's a very blurry picture. Might need to delete it. This is Eagle. So yeah, that was just playing through it. I had a lot of fun with this game. It's just left and right and shoot. It's kind of like Galaga. There's Missile Command next to it. So you got the trackball, and then you have your 3 shots. What's going on, DLP? Hope you're doing well. So you got the Alpha, Delta, and Omega base. I mean, there is no better way to play Missile Command than with this setup.
I've never seen, man, those two little.
It is so nice just because you roll the ball up, down, left, right, wherever, and then you choose which of your 3 bases you shoot from. So if you're on the left side, shooting something on the left, you're going to try to use the left base if you've got ammo there. If, and you scroll it over and depending on which one's closer, you can choose which missile base you shoot from so that you get to your target sooner. But I mean, there's no better way to play Missile Command than with that setup. And I mean, we spent most of our time in the arcade hall.
Did they have good machines?
Sorry, what?
Did they have good machines?
Oh yeah, I'll pull up the walkthrough I did. That's me trying to get a picture of my high score. Like that Eagle game, I had a ton of fun with.
Oh wow!
Yep. I don't think it was working though.
It looks pretty cool, I'm gonna admit.
But there was Robotron. Yeah. Robotron is such a good game.
It really is a lot of fun. Robotron.
You got the 2600 version of what, Drake? So this is Godless Avalon. This is one it's available on Steam. I actually want to do a video and see if I can get the developers on it. I guess it's developer, and then he's got a guy helping him with testing and stuff. But it's an RPG, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like Sigma Star Saga. He's like, you're the second person that has said that, and I don't think he knew what it was. But you go around on the map, and then when you go to battle, you go to the screen, but you run around, and it's like a shooter section, but you have control of where you move and stuff. Yeah, Robotron is great, too. Yeah, I think some of those the arcade machines, is the only way to play if you want a really good experience. No, this is a couple of cards I got from them, and actually they had a bunch of hogs, so I got some.
Oh
hogs.
Wow!
But yeah, I need to do a video and or stream with about it. So this one, Neon Striker. This one was kind of fun. You pick your weapons that you add to your ship, and it changes like they each have a certain firing arc and different way that they shoot. That was pretty cool. This is one that the Munchkin played, Inky Inky and the Alien Aquarium. What was it? $70 for a physical copy with the digital copy, and I was like, ooh, if it was maybe 40 or $50, I might have picked up a physical copy. It was a puzzle game.
$70.
$70. Which I mean,
Damn.
the thing is, again, how much are you willing to pay to have a physical copy of something?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, was the game worth $70?
I don't know. I didn't play with it much. This was just a couple things that I saw. This one caught my eye. $79 for Super Mario 3D All Stars.
That's not a bad price, actually.
I don't know if that was sealed or not. I don't think it was.
I saw that at the Long Island Retro for 152.
I need to sell my copy.
Well, that's Long
There's some-
Island prices.
Some Scooby-Doo stuff. And this is
Go back to the Scooby-Doo stuff. What was he selling the robot for? Do you know 70?
That's $70 on it.
Oh man. That is such a good price.
The Forbidden Planet.
Yes, that is a great
This is Dark Planet, the game. So it has this terrain and stuff down here, and then you play around the terrain on the screen. So there's a physical element to it, and then the digital element to it. I just thought that was really cool, and I had some fun playing with that.
I really thought, man, that robot's awesome.
I'm really
Were there
bad
toys? Were there toys there too?
So I got the high score, 9,540. Almost beat the old high score by 1,000. Which I had another score, would have been number 6 or 7. So the Scramble Core Dark Planet. Yeah, this one, Dark Planet was fun. This game, Eagle, was fun. That's us. And then I did pick up these 3 things.
So there
They
were
were $10
toys.
each.
So there were toys.
So there were toys. There was Lego. And then here is one of the molds, the Recognizer from Tron. And actually, I got a couple of those and that one seemed to be, surprise, surprise, the most popular.
That's what that is?
Yep, it's the Recognizer. Let me see if I can find my walk through.
What's in your what's in your upcoming video, Drake?
I walked around Southern Fried in 45 minutes. There wasn't anybody hanging around. Oh my gosh, the quality is horrible.
So, wait, 45 minutes.
Actually,
What do you mean you walked around it in 45 minutes?
I walked around the convention in 45 minutes.
That was it?
I didn't stop. I wasn't really looking at stuff. I was moving and shaking.
Wow.
So, all right, it's up at 5 speed. So let's see how it. Lighting isn't the best, but I did it on Sega Dude. So if anyone wants to look, it's on Sega Dude. It's on my channel as well, Wazroom. Background in the arcade, maybe Warlord. Can't see him in YouTube stream. Oh, because Drake's on Twitch. Unfortunately, StreamYards does not bring in everybody's chat, but that's where you come in the hotel. There's gaming down there on occasion. All right, 5 speed might be a bit much, but just walking around. All right, slow it down to like 3. So this is that area. So there's the role-playing area. That's an open area where you play board games or some vendor stuff. Check in right there. You get shirts and whatnot. Okay, I was moving it. There's an area where they had a couple things. Pretty sure Friday night or Saturday night, that's where they had wrestling. They've got more space for playing games over here. Where you can check out games and stuff. Look how moving at 2 speed might be too much. Apparently, I walked really quickly. This guy seems to always be here. Comics, so big comic selection. A couple times I thought, oh, I could start collecting Alf comics. I hadn't gotten into it though, thankfully. Some other sellers not doing too much. We didn't check out much with them. Let's just going around.
How many days did you go?
Just on Sunday, just one day. And over here on the right, that's where you come up from the hotel. Then you got all your barcades. They usually always have those on. That wasn't that popped up, but pop figures or some Perler stuff. There's a panel room over there. If you need to ship something, they're not open on Sunday. So you used to turn right here, and you'd go down here, and you'd walk in to the other side where the arcade machines and stuff was. I'm on Sega Dudes. This is streaming on Sega Dudes and on my channel. I'm trying to get it so that we're hitting more places. So walk in.
This guy's walking with all the bags. That's funny.
Yep.
Was this in a hotel?
We were in a hotel. This is the convention center right here.
Okay.
There's Sonic. So this is, you walk in to the vendor area. Like half of it's vendors and the other half is arcade and pinball. So over here on the right, those shops are Game Central Station. There was some over on the left. I was pointing out, I think I saw that at Southeast Game Exchange. Games. Oh, that was a guy that I knew. Gave him a fist bump. I recommend watching the go and watching it so you're not watching because it's 45 minutes. It would take a while to watch. We don't need to spend 45 minutes looking at it. But yeah, there's Walter Day. There's a seller that's still at Charlie's Collectible Showcase, CCS. There's your chainsaw controller, GameCubes, N64s. It's a 64DD with an N64. I think I might have been talking with that guy. I think I did the trade with him at Southeast Game Exchange last year. But we had the orange Pikachu. We'll move it some. So this is where the Mickey. That's a Stone Mountain mold. So it's molding it right now. And so the other Mickey kicks down the Stone Mountain.
You paid for that?
No, it's free. You should go up there and push the button. More games. Dark Planet. So right there that's the Tron one. That's the circuit board I was talking about. So that's a circuit board for I don't know what game it was, but it is super cool to see that in person. You're like, that stuff was all drawn by hand. All these fine lines and stuff are hand drawn, which, like I said, I thought I took some better pictures of it. But he was refilling it, and there were some issues with the mold. So there's the looking in on it. There's Mario. So that's all vendor, or not vendor, but pinball and arcades that Mario was. I was trying to wait around to get another one, but there's another. See, you can see the intricate work on hand-drawn circuit boards, blown up a little bit to make it a little bit easier to read, but
did you look at prices at all?
Not really. I don't look at prices. I look for specific games. That's why with Southeast Game Exchange, if you remember, you and DLP were catching, like, oh, look at that game. Look at that game. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for any games because I was looking for a very specific game or games. Yeah, I think we at 10:30 today when I was walking, it was 88 degrees and it felt like 100 at 10:30. I didn't check when I went walking at 12. And Talk was saying so. Uh, that's just looking at all the different artifacts that they had there. I was trying to kill time so I could get a recognizer. There's one right there. I came back later and got one. So here's all arcades. That's all
Jeez.
pinball. Everything down.
Wow.
That's arcades.
And I bet you they weren't
And then-
busted, were they?
No. All right, let me slow it down because I didn't realize how fast I was going.
Yeah, you get motion sickness off of this. I think I got whiplash.
There's a robot. That was kind of cool. Last year it was Jinx from Space Camp, but a bunch of different pinball machines. Everyone's standing around playing. I didn't even remember seeing those basketballs. They had lots of the Sonic the Hedgehog pinball machines, but then just a ton of arcades. Some older pinball machines that didn't require electricity were mixed in with it. Pinball. See this entire area. There's two more of these. Some arcade games, some free play stuff. But yep. Might need to hold that for a second. Cindy Morgan, but I didn't recognize her.
That's crazy.
Yeah, see, I'm like doing a very quick scan of
Those
the
are
games.
aren't
Oh,
those
apparently somebody spammed us when I was.
aren't those computer games?
There were some, yeah. There's some big box. There's a PlayStation kiosk.
That has
Tabletop.
I wish I
PlayStation
had
kiosk.
the space
Sega
for the
sign.
PlayStation kiosk.
See,
Unfortunately,
a lot
I
of that
do
stuff
not.
is just stuff that you bring to get people's attention. Like you're not planning on actually selling it. There we go. Let's. There's games and games. There's a Neo Geo. There's concessions. Pinball. And I just there was some Neo Geo stuff, some handhelds, some Switch lights.
It's nice to see like a variety of different things here,
Yeah,
especially
a
like
couple Neo
computer
Geos.
stuff.
There's a Genesis 3. I'm not sure the last time. It is. It's fun, and like this is the convention you go to if you want to play games. Like you can buy stuff. Like the vendor hall the first year was in that room where they did the RPG stuff, and I don't think it was all vendors. I think there was arcade machines in there too. I have to go back and look at the pictures. They make custom arcades. They don't supply you with the ROMs and images and that stuff. But I see if I was going to get something like a Mister, I think I would go that route so I could put it in an arcade machine like that.
Yeah, that would be nice, or a Raspberry Pi as well.
Yeah, because you get those, you get trackball, you can get like support for everything. So
I like those type of vendors that they just have stuff all over the table. You go there; they usually have pretty good deals.
I'm not even sure what. More arcades. We're still in the first hall. I don't even know what that game is. I think it was for sale, but it wasn't working. I think it was a Galaga. Yeah, there's Galaga on the right. Yeah, so people just wait. They just stand in line. Once once you game over, you just move off and go to the next arcade machine or keep walking or whatever.
See, that was a problem that was there because I wanted to play the Pokemon pinball, and there was a line, and there was one guy that just stood there and played it for an hour. And then he went back at another 2 hours. And I said, "Can I try it?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm still playing." And I'm like, "Okay." So I took out Endhinder, put it in the PlayStation 2, played it for about an hour and a half, went back to the Pokeball pinball machine, and he was still playing the game. And I'm like, "Yo, could I try this?" And he got moody. It I don't know. See, like this is a convention. This is something you go like. I wouldn't be
There
so
was the Lego seller right there. This is still the yeah. So this guy had a Game Gear, a bunch of games and stuff for $450. It was recapped, a bunch of other stuff too. Maybe I'll go and meet up. So I was just looking. I was like, I've got all of that. Like, I don't think it's worth $450, but I mean, I don't know. With today's prices, it might be. Oh yeah, he had all the manuals and the inserts and stuff, or a lot of the manuals and the extra inserts and stuff for this stuff. There's a CRT screen with a little bit of burn in. Somebody had an Amiibo, and
People were
I
selling
could not find
Amiibos.
it again. Like I went down the line, finished recording, went back. I could not find it. It just disappeared. I guess somebody bought it, but this
Those
was
were its
the
hard.
yard sale part. Just
Were
people
its hard. Wait,
bring
what?
various things that they're trying to sell from their collections or whatever.
They have a yard sale part.
Yeah, like I've done it. Like there was somebody that had a Virtual Boy.
How much did he? Can you go back and like try to pause to see how much you wanted for the Virtual Boy?
I can try it, but I don't think it's going to do much good.
I'm really curious.
Oh no, 415.
Wow. Is that the old radio for $10?
I think I might say I don't know if that's 10 or 30. It looks like there's
Oh
something
my!
there.
My father has that sitting on his thing.
I
Oh,
had one like it.
right? Damn, that's crazy. This is the yard sale thing's awesome. You probably could talk to these guys and get a good price for this type of stuff.
Probably. I mean, looks like a couple brothers, but like people are just trying to sell some stuff from the collection mostly. Like they're not, if they're resellers, they're not big resellers because obviously they didn't buy a vending booth. But Atari, there's ColecoVision, there's NES, there's arcade stuff. There's the arcade board. There's a Genesis, and so people just have a mixture of things. So more pinball, and arcade machines. So I'm gonna skip through some of this because it's another half, convention hall of arcades and stuff.
That's amazing that they have all those arcade machines there.
Oh, oh, Jake, I didn't know you came in. Thanks for coming in when I was doing that pinball. I know you can't see the comments. I didn't realize I was going to be able to see them later. Oh, well, I appreciate you stopping in when I was doing that, Drake. I don't know if I could get like a tablet or something and use that for a screen.
Yeah, but then if you're going to carry a tablet, that's going to be annoying because of the size of the tablet.
Well, this one I just had the phone. I didn't even have my my thing on it.
Oh, you have a thing for the
and
phone?
It did a video on. There was some Master System stuff. I stopped and looked at that. Yeah, there's some big box. No, those are the Neo Geo games. It was surprising the number of people that had Neo Geo stuff. Like there's a couple more pinball machines. There to the left was the free play area. I don't know if you caught that. There's part of it. Just TVs on tables with chairs, but a big open area. Like you're not. I'm sure Saturday it was crowded-ish, but there's a lot of space to move around in that area, so it wasn't bad. There's their VR area.
I can't believe they had a VR area. Wow.
I should have slowed down.
I'm very impressed with that.
This, But I mean, I was, oh my gosh.
You're quick.
Oh, just how fast I'm going through it. Uh, that was a Halo. We had a, I think you play 4-player Halo if you wanted to, versus or you could
They
do less single player.
they have
Uh,
4-player
this
Halo.
this is all the vintage computing
Damn.
stuff. Prin went and played some Oregon Trail. She finished disc 1, but disc 2 had gotten damaged because the ductwork dripped some water on it and destroyed disc 2. So they needed to go and make another one when they get home. Oh crud! I don't remember this guy. The tag on his shirt was like bitter buy or something, but making fun of Best Buy. Actually, I might, when I get back over to him, I might unpause it, see if I can unmute it.
So what people were there? Like
So worst
stream.
buy. It was called worst buy.
So what people were there that were like streamers and stuff?
What?
People like YouTube people and stuff.
Hold on. I walked. I did. I went through the whole convention in an hour, but I was not really stopping and looking. It was like, look over here, look over there, and like the you can go through and watch it at one speed on my channel on Sega Dudes under the live streams. Would call it worst buy. I thought that was hilarious though. That's the bad thing that when you're walking around and like I was moving at a pace because if you watch like I'm watching it at 2 speed, but if I'm not, what the heck? Oh, I think I was trying to kill a little bit of time because to the left of me was a tic-tac-toe machine and I wanted to get some video of it. Maybe we're at DCF when I went. I'm not. Oh, 8-Bit guy, I know who that is. I'm not sure who Adrian Black is. Why am I just standing there? I may have been talking to that guy still. But so there's the tic-tac-toe machine. Somebody was explaining some stuff about it. Yeah, I zipped through it now. It's 3 of these convention halls and another couple areas. The thing is, you can spend all day in. There's the Barbie apple that somebody made. But you spend all day in the arcade hall and not probably even play half the games there. But yeah, the vintage computing area, Digital Basement is a channel. I don't think I've seen anything from him. There's all the Pong cloned machines, or a lot of them. I think of the 2 or 3 I have, I don't think I saw any of them. Telstar. That there, I'm looking at the stuff that you could buy from the vintage computing people. Oh, those were sealed 3 1/4 floppies. Robin for 8-Bit Show and tell. Oh, I don't know who that is either. Okay, this is some of the indie stuff. I didn't get back in time to look at a bunch of this stuff, but I did get back to that Godless Avalon. Those cucumbers turned pickles were good. Those were yummy. But I was like, I want to come back and check out this game. So that's the one I did. Like I said, the demo for that is on that one thing. That's Polyroll, Clash Force is creators of a couple of other games. Yes, they had good pickles. We actually bought some to put on our sub sandwiches that we brought with us. But that's
So
pretty much.
you don't buy food there.
It's expensive. If you plan ahead, you can save a ton of money.
How expensive are you looking at for food?
I don't know. I didn't look because I planned ahead.
They have food trucks outside and they were charging the food trucks weren't bad at all. Inside to get chicken fingers, I think it was like $27 for 3 chicken fingers.
My goodness.
It was bad. A hamburger was 32. And there were like a couple of tables and that was it. But yeah, I don't know.
Although an hour and a half, and we walked through most of Southeast Game Exchange. Yeah, $20 burritos.
You'd be lucky if you found $20 burritos. But yeah, you had 2 conventions. I had one. Mine was
But
not
you got
very
one
good.
coming up. But I mean, I don't know. Going back to the convention stuff though, it's like oh no, it was spaced out. But if you go back and look at the arcade and vendor area, it was very tight. The vintage computer area, apparently one guy rented that entire area, so he had it. He made sure that there was lots of room and stuff. Wall meet time.
That is,
But-
oh my god, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, but so going back to the convention and stuff, is like, is it really worth it? That one,
I don't know.
it's a fun family activity. We didn't buy a ton of stuff, but we I didn't take any pictures of it. But we had there's usually somebody that brings one of those older photo machines. So you go in there, you take your photo, and you can put a frame around it, and then put little stickers on it and stuff. Like Southeast Game Exchange used to be my favorite. I don't think I could say that it is anymore.
Why?
It's too crazy. It's too costly for us to go. I mean, like I said, it was $700 to $1,000 for us to go to Southeast Game Exchange.
That's insane.
It's just when you travel, it's costly. I mean, $200 for a room. Figure 50 to 100 for gas. And since we're traveling, this is an us thing though. We like to go and try stuff that we don't have locally. So we went to some, like Friday night, we went and had dinner at a place called Konichiwa, and I think that was $60 for a meal
Japanese
for the both
food.
of us.
You don't have Japanese food around you?
We don't have that restaurant.
Oh, is there
Here.
a brand around you that is that restaurant?
No. So we're just trying stuff blind. Like the next night, we tried a Greek restaurant.
Ooh.
It was good.
Mm. Yeah, well,
I'll eat at the game. They said you weren't kidding. Yeah, it's crazy. When is Game On Expo, Zombie?
Game On.
Game On Expo. I've heard of it, but I just need to figure out how to get invited and have them pay for my flight and hotel room. And with the gaps, it's still a lot to explore. Yeah. And the thing is, it's nice that you have that space. But like Southern Fried, we stopped going to all 3 days because that was the hotel room was $600-$800 for 2 nights, and this year it would have been like $900.
The one you just showed was Southeast Gaming Exchange, which
Well, we just-
seems
Well, no, that was Southern Fried.
The one you just showed was Southern Fried.
The one that we're doing the walkthrough with all the pinball and arcade machines
Yeah.
is Southern Fried. Southern Fried is big on arcade and pinball. Like I said, the first year we went, the vendor hall was almost non-existent.
How much did it cost you to get into Southern Fried Gaming Expo?
For the three of us, it was $100 roughly. It was actually
And you
$90.
You went for 1 day, is that correct?
Yep, 1 day.
Okay.
But I think we all had a lot of fun with it. I played DDR a couple times with the Munchkin. We played a bunch of arcade games, pinball machines.
So Southeast Gaming Exchange, you're not going to go to it anymore?
I don't know. The one that makes Southeast Game Exchange a lot of fun is it's you can meet up with a lot of people.
So what was your turnoff with Southeast Gaming Exchange?
Well, this year, especially Saturday. Saturday was garbage with how many people were there.
Mm-hmm.
It was too crowded. Like what little I would have looked at games on Saturday, I didn't even do that because there was just so many people.
Wow. So basically, it kind of sounds like you had a minor better experience than I did.
No, I'd say I had a much better experience than you did.
Oh, mine was all
I went for 3 days. Friday was okay. Sunday was okay. Saturday was it was horrible. You got to park out in the boondocks. They needed, in my opinion, what they need to do on Saturday is break up tickets. Like if you want to get in when it opens on Saturday, in between, I think it start open at 10. If you want to get in between like 10 and 1, the price of the ticket is going to be like say $35. If you get in after 1, then the price of the ticket is $20.
I did not realize this until today, but the guy at the store where I pressed charges on for what he did was actually following me. He works at that store still, and he was following me around the convention. My friend took like a bunch of video, and he told me today
What's up, D-Dubs?
when we were talking on Teams, and he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "Watch this video," and the guy who I pressed charges on was following us around the convention hall, around the vendor thing for the convention hall. You could see him in all the videos. And I said to my friend Gabe, I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think we're going back there anymore. Like next year, like we're not doing that." It was really weird. So, I mean, it's not well thought out, and you really don't like if you compare like these two conventions that you just went to, and then you look at the one I went to. Yes, it's cool. It's in aviation museum. Everything is great like that, but just the size of it, and it's just miserable.
Yeah, the thing is, like for Long Island, I can see that it's too cramped. Like it's not packed, but the area where they have stuff is too cramped. There's not enough space between the aisles. So if you have more than 3 people trying to walk, like it feels slammed.
They did I went to, now the thing is, here's the thing. I went to a pop culture convention there. And it was like a retro pop or pop culture something, and they had a DeLorean, and I took pictures in front of it. And my son went with me. It was not packed at all. And they had video game vendors there, but toy vendors and other stuff. And it wasn't really packed. We got to take a look at the DeLorean, take pictures, went upstairs, played some arcade games, went downstairs, walked around. It wasn't bad. I don't know why LI Retro is like this. And I think the worst point about it all was introducing that alcohol station like you saw in the free play areas, because when you walked into that area, and I showed you guys like all that, like your free play machines and your computer stuff and everything, there was a liquor station when you walked in there that they were selling liquor. Then there were 3 other liquor stations around that area that you could buy liquor.
See that having liquor at those events seems really strange because for one, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but these are kids events and not necessarily the best thing to have. Like to me, having alcohol there makes it a little bit less of a family friendly event because it's so not overseen,
It's just
regulated. I don't
very
know which
weird.
word to really use, but it just seems like you're asking for trouble.
You really are. You really are. But I
It's
mean,
not like a sporting event or something where you know it's a little bit more open, and I don't know. It just seems like a bad combination to me. But again, that's just me. Um,
Connecticut was more wide open, a lot of free play stuff. I remember just going there and having the guy took Mario Kart and had it running on PC and had all the steering wheels all connected and everything broken out in Phoenix connectors onto a board, and then from the board it was in a USB to plug into the computer, and I have the whole layout and everything. He showed me all of it to wire it up. It was very interesting. Their arcade machines were they were far few in between, but a lot of the free play stuff and the wrestling stuff was really cool too.
yeah. Well, so looking at the conventions that we've gone to this year, because we went to Rocket City Retro Fest in Alabama, and that one was a fun one. Even though I wasn't really hunting for a bunch of stuff, that was fun. I think that one I enjoyed that more than I did Southeast Game Exchange this year. Southern Fried is probably the one that I've enjoyed the most, but also the Munchkin was with us, so it's a totally different vibe, and we had a lot of fun playing stuff. Southeast Game Exchange just seemed like, and I wasn't looking forward to going this year. And if we hadn't found hotel rooms for about $100 a night, we probably wouldn't have gone at all.
Wow.
I'm wondering about we might cut out some conventions next year as it is, and if we do like Southeast, we probably won't go to Southeast Game Exchange, which will be the first time since 2019 that we haven't gone when they've had one. But we'll go to SFGE for a day. But it's an hour and a half drive depending on traffic. And traffic was actually really good that day, both ways actually. But Southeast Game Exchange is 3.5, 4 hours, depending on traffic and number of stops and whatnot. But like I think Print and I both prefer Really Red Weekend down in Florida, which is an even further drive. But that one feels like a vacation with a convention because a convention, like it is small. I don't know. Like they've got the panel rooms in different places in the hotel. They've got the free play area is in a different area. Like it's split up, but the free play area is bigger than the vendor area. And they've got the tournament area. But like the vendor area, we'll say that there's 24 vendors, if that. And then the arcade area is about in the same with that. So there's maybe 30 arcades and or pinball machines. But it's just the feeling of Really Rad is really different than all the others. Maybe because you are like the hotel that it's at is on the beach. You have the nice white sands down in that area. but it's got a really nice feel to it. Like there's not a ton going on. There's not a ton of people. I didn't do any pickup videos. I'm kind of against pickup videos. I don't really care for those that much anymore. Just because they're boring, at least in my way of seeing things, that they just don't. I don't feel like it's that big of a, like they're that great. I don't feel like I don't watch them much because like, ooh yeah, you picked up some stuff just to pick it up. You know, it doesn't do it for me anymore. I mean, I posted a couple of things that I picked up, but I've actually got some of the stuff pulled out and set aside to do a video if we ever do a video on the events themselves. But I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts about pickup videos and stuff? It's like, oh look, I picked up some Lego Chima figures off eBay. That's super exciting, right? Although I do feel like I need to do a video for James Buster Douglas boxing, especially if I'm looking at selling that off along with some of the other Master System stuff. And now I'm not hardly picking anything up. Like Southeast Game Exchange, I didn't hardly grab anything. I didn't buy a single game. Been watching Game Room Tours videos. Those are pretty cool. I need to do a Game Room tour, and it'll probably be a Game Room tour video like you have never or very rarely seen. And actually, because like I am in a transition phase, and let's see. So there's a bunch of boxes right there. And just when does, you know, if I ever get around to doing it, it'll be like, when does the collecting get too far, and what can you do about it? What do you do about it? Are you still here, Zombie? Because you might get a kick out of this. If you're here, I'll show you something. But like I'm just at a point where I've got to start letting stuff go and getting rid of stuff, just because I've, over the last, I'll just say 40 years, because I've kept so much of the stuff that I had when I was a kid, but the stuff that I've amassed over the last 40 years, like it's gotten to be too much, and now it's actually impacting, it's impacting it's taking up too much mental space as well as physical space, which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to sell some Lego on Whatnot. I sold some most of my Master System duplicates on Whatnot. So it's been interesting, but because I collect not just video games, but toys, action figures, Lego, it adds up quickly. And actually, you can see there's the Mega Block, or actually it's the Mattel Brick Snake Mountain from the new movie. But you start looking around, you're like, okay, well, I need to get rid of some stuff. All right, it needs to be taken apart and put in boxes so it doesn't take up as much space. And then it's if you're not going to be able to display it, is it worth having? Take your pick.
So I am back. We almost.
You sound a little quiet.
No, we almost had a fire.
That what?
We almost had a fire.
You can't just say that.
So one of the spoons fell off and fell down on the dishwasher. You know where the dishwasher thing spins and the water comes out? There's two things that are there that heat up and then that causes the steam and everything. The spoon fell on top of that and melted, and the whole house now smells of burnt plastic.
Was it a plastic spoon?
Yes.
Huh. One
It's
more reason
disgusting.
not to use the heat
It's
or the self
disgusting. It
drying
smells.
on the dishwasher.
Now it all smells great.
Did
So
you run out
yeah.
there, D Dubs, with a shovel or a spade and start beating it, or while you weren't home? Yeah,
I don't
cut
know.
up some apples and leave them out, and that should help with the smell. If you can close off that room, close off the kitchen from the rest of the house.
Yeah, it smells so bad.
Yeah,
But I mean, whatever.
I think the big thing going back to the gaming conventions is, what are you expecting to get out of that?
I just want to go to meet people and talk to people, and that doesn't happen.
That's crazy, Drake, or not Drake, D Dubs. Um, but meet up with who?
Just people in general, like other people that are into gaming and
Other.
retro and
So with that, all it is you just start talking to them. Like when you're looking at games, like, oh, you like that game, or are you looking for anything specific, or
I think I'm biased with Connecticut because I had a great experience. The vendors were amazing. Everybody was just super nice to talk to.
it's because you weren't in New York. New York is horrible.
I mean, but it's Hartford, so it's like, Connecticut is like, snooty areas, but guy let me take a full thing of his tattoos. I mean, just it was overall a great time to talk to
Yeah,
people. But I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to.
yeah. I mean, that's what makes the conventions great in general. Especially now, it's the first time you go to one, if you're not familiar with anyone, you might be going to pick up games or whatnot. But once you start going and you start seeing the same people over and over, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, how's it going? And you start checking in, and it's the people that make it. And I mean, that's why we eventually ended up going to Southeast Game Exchange. If there was a way to do that without having to go to the convention, it would be so much better.
I agree. I completely agree. But
Because where I'm at in collecting, where you're at in collecting, like, we're not buying a ton of games. So
I'm not, and another thing too is very specific games that I look for. I found at Connecticut and not at LA Retro. There was very limited imports at LA Retro, and I don't even know what. I mean, everybody was trying to, get out with oh, what was it? Everyone was getting so excited over like PS2 games. So hopefully things will be a little bit better than kind of what they are now. But I think I mean, would I go back next year? No, I'm not going to go back over the summer. Am I going to go to the Christmas event? Yeah, the Christmas event's a little bit more toned down. And what's funny too is um, the store that always used to push, hey, we're going to sponsor you. We're going to sponsor LI Retro. Was the store I went to the day after, and I asked the guy, why doesn't the owner of the video game store go to LI Retro anymore? And he said he got tired of dragging stuff, tired of the other vendors, and he got tired of people stealing things and his arcade machines coming back completely destroyed. Like when you when you played the arcade machines, right, at those two conventions, you pressed the start button and it worked, right? We had to open the coin slot and press a button inside the coin slot in order for it to go on to free play. The two buttons didn't work.
Well, I should say some of them, depending on how they're wired up and whatnot, like some of them have a little button near the coin drawer that you push, like that. They drill a little hole and there's a little red button. You push that, and that gets you credits.
No, he opened up the drawer to play.
Yeah, because not all of the arcade machines have an option to put it onto free play mode. But if they don't do that, you either have to do that or you have to have something on the outside to push it so that it can you can add credits to it even though you're not putting anything in it. Yeah, there's dip switches, but I don't think all of the arcades have them. Especially if sometimes these are arcades that people have pieced together from a bunch of different places. So who knows? But I mean, like I said, the convention, it's what are you looking to get out of it? I'm not buying a bunch of games now. I'm looking to hang out, talk with people, look at a handful of things.
I mean, that's really about it.
Because the excitement of hunting games and stuff just isn't there anymore for me.
I mean, like if I go to a show and I find Batsung for Saturn, I would be excited. If I see Battle Garega, I'd be like, oh wow, like that's cool, you have that. Last year I went and got Night Raid for PS1, and I was really excited over that. Like it was wow. Along with a lot of Switch games, and I really think I'm gonna have a better like the stuff I'm looking for. More diversity I would find at Connecticut than I would anything else. And this year at Connecticut, they're bringing a lot of voice actors, like the lady who plays Princess Peach. No, the lady who plays the other one, the other princess from the new movie that just came out. She's going to be there. Yeah, Rosalina's going to be there. And the grandma, the lady who's like 90-something years old, who has the gaming channel, who does reviews and stuff, and she's like 80-something years old or whatever, she's going to be there. That would be cool to meet her because she's, that type of stuff. So it's very different than unfortunately it's only Saturday and Sunday, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it's just less money to spend, and that's it.
Yeah. And like last year, I think like I had the challenge of, okay, I'm going to try and trade a bunch of these games away and get stuff that I want. This year, I didn't have those games that I want. So, at Southern Fried Gaming Expo, the goal was to hang out with the family and play games and have fun. And we did that. We had a nice, fun day, somewhat relaxing for having to drive into Atlanta, but it was fun. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of sums it up with everything we've been going through with all of this.
Dub so that he can introduce you to his grandma. She's into cooking and dogs. But is she into cooking dogs?
She's cooking and dogs.
Yeah. And hopefully we can hook up at a convention at some point. Only hot dogs.
I'd hope we could all. I mean, it would be. I mean, it would be nice if you bring up. I mean, I'll share my screen just to show this. Just everybody looking at it or whatever. I had an excellent excellent experience here. Vendors were wonderful and everything. But like it really is like cool with the stuff that you find. This is the logo for this year. Last year was Mega Man. This year it's Zelda, and I am
Yeah.
sure buying that shirt.
What is that?
That's
it's
that's
Zelda.
the A.
Sorry, not Zelda. It's Link, but he's got
Yes,
the X logo for a face.
and
Shields
that's the egg
X.
from the wind, the windfish.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
That's an exclusive shirt. I think you
Yes.
get VIP to get that.
like the vehicles are really
Yep.
cool with the cars, the arcade
See,
machines.
The vehicles and stuff. I think I would throw that in there with the voice actors and stuff. It's just like the cars at least would be a little bit more cool, but
I did enjoy walking around with live music shopping. That was a great experience on Saturday. That was the best experience on Saturday. I liked it. I'm gonna try to look for a panel this year that I could go sit in on. Like exit I think this might be new. Um but yeah, just like guests. The guy from Halo. This guy is Fatal Fury. He did like Fatal Fury and stuff, and he was Hiro Yui from Mobile Suit Gundam. So he was the voice actor. So what I'll do is I'm probably gonna get my Gundam stuff, go there and have him sign it. I'm not gonna have him sign anything Neo Geo wise because he didn't do the voice acting for that. But she was there, and she was Princess Rosaline for the games. So I mean, they try. Him, I'm interested in meeting, the angry video game nerd.
the
So,
only one at Southeast Game Exchange
oh, it
that
opened
I
up
was
a
interested in
separate
meeting
window.
in was the Critical Drinker, and I met him. I went and talked to him for a couple minutes and just chatted. Nerdrotic was supposed to be there, but I guess there was some conflict of things going on, so he wasn't able to be there. Which is weird because it's a gaming convention, and Nerdrotic has like almost nothing to do with. Like, he's not a gamer. And Critical Drinker is somewhat. So Sean Powers I met at retro really rad weekend last year. He seemed like a cool guy, although he's got he's got quite a catalog of games. But he's one of the main
Really?
people that spoke well of Expedition 33, which is why I ended up getting it.
See, now that's cool. So that's cool. But yeah, this is everybody's going to be there. This I'm very very much looking forward to. Very
Who's
much
that?
looking forward to. Tim Clark. He worked on puppets for the Dark Crystals, Sesame Street, The Muppet Show, and Fraggle Rock.
Oh.
Building puppets. And I have a Dark Crystal DVD, and I'm going to ask him to sign it. This guy I'm very much looking forward to. And I also have Boglins. He was like known for, creating like the Boglins in the 80s. I have a Boglin I'm going to ask him to sign as well. Like very, very amped about that. That's really kind of cool because remember he worked with what is it? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on
Jim Henson?
Yes, Jim Henson and Brian Henson. So this is like the closest thing I'm going to get to meeting a Henson. So there's like a band, like the orchestra comes in. It's interesting. I mean, it's well put together. I mean, again, I'm a little biased, but the wrestling is pretty cool. You know, But yeah, I mean it seems like it's going to be kind of fun. Not this year, but next year I might actually want to volunteer to help out and have them set up stuff. So I talked to Grace about that, and she was laughing. She's like, "You're really gonna do that?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm definitely going to look to see if I could volunteer or do something to help them out or whatever. But it's interesting. It's a cool show. I'm looking forward to it. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away.
Oh, yep. She did. There was one of the DVDs that I've purchased had some of the extras. One of the things had her in it, and like the first time I saw her talking about it, and I was like, like it didn't have her name on there. I was like, that looks like Dr. Crusher. And looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, she did do something with the Dark Crystal. Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Indie Mania too. Like all the showcase of indie developers and everything. This is pretty big. So was the board. The board tabletop gaming. Like they have a huge tabletop area. And they also have how to teach they have a I wouldn't say symposium, but they have like a panel of how to teach you how to start playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is cool. So, but yeah, that's retro
Retro
worlds.
World Expo.
Hartford, Connecticut, and it's the 12th and 13th. So, yeah, I mean the 12th and the 13th. So I mean, really, it's the whatever that day is, Memorial Day, whatever we have is on the 7th, and then right there the 11th, the 12th and the 13th. There usually was 3 days because I went 3 days last year, but now it's only two, and I'm okay with 2 days. Like I'm kind of happy with that. I'm not going to complain and rush and say, oh, like, Friday we got to get there. And so it's nice. Like probably Friday night after everyone gets home from school and, everything, eat and then leave like Friday night, get a hotel Friday night, and then Saturday morning, wake up, go and stuff like that. And then I think probably Saturday night, come home, or Sunday morning, wake up and go there and come home, whatever. I mean, whatever it is. It's only like, I think 2 hours away from me. 3 hours maybe, but
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Directions. But yeah, that's
Yep. So I guess wrap it up. Everyone, it's entirely up to you with what your goals are, what you're looking to get out of at these expos and conventions. If you're just game hunting, well, make sure you choose one that has games. Because I will say, the first time we went to Southern Fried, like I was surprised by how few vendors there were.
really
This was in 2018, so that's almost 10 years ago. They've added a lot of vendors, a lot of vendor space since then. But yeah, I guess figure out what your goal is and how much is it worth it for you to get in to be able to try to accomplish those goals. Because the extra money, it's just like this last year and then the last few months, I just started looking at it and I was like, holy cow, all this money that you spend to go to these conventions, if you're just buying games, if you just go to your local retro shops and that horrible place eBay and just buy stuff there, like, okay, maybe let's say you're going and you would buy 10 games. If you were to save $10 on each of those games, you saved $100. Maybe that would be worth the price of admission and everything else. But what are the chances that you're actually going to save that much money on that many games?
That's true. That's very true.
And so it's because it was like, oh yeah, you go to the conventions because you can find stuff for a good deal. Well, maybe, but you're gonna have to find a bunch of games, or you're gonna have to be hunting for a bunch of games to make those numbers match up. If you're coming from a distance, if you're local, it's something different. You're not going to be spending nearly as much as someone who's coming from way out of town or out of state.
It's only 2 hours and 10 minutes away from me, which isn't bad. I mean, I could do that drive. If I woke up in the morning on Saturday, did the drive, and then went there, checked into the hotel and everything. So if I only stayed one night, wouldn't be really bad. 2 hours and 10 minutes.
2 hours 10 minutes, that could be a day trip.
Yeah, I could definitely do a day trip with that.
But if you don't have to, why do that then? But you decide for yourself, like, how much money do you want to spend? How much is it worth it for you to get in and be able to hunt the games?
No, that's true.
That's why I'm just like, I was questioning going to Seagy this year. I don't know what we'll do next year about it. We will probably go to Rocket City Retro Fest.
That's Florida, right?
No, Rocket City Retro Fest is in Alabama. Really Rad Weekend is in Florida. And that's in Destin, Florida. It's in the Panhandle.
How long does it take you to get there?
It's a few hours.
Oof.
It's a longer drive. Because you actually change time zones. Because we go down to, Tampa, and then head over.
Okay. Time zones.
Time zones. We're in Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
And then Central time zone.
Florida's in the same time zone as us.
Not all of it.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I was in that same boat. I thought it followed the state line, and it just went and cut over and went down. But I'm guessing the line goes down from Alabama through the Panhandle. So.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
That's interesting.
Yep.
But yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah. So choose your own adventure. Decide what it's worth to you, what you're really trying to get out of it. Regardless, have fun when you're going to these things. Have some fun. Don't be a jerk, but enjoy yourself. Talk to people. And it's great when you get to the point where you can meet up with people that you met there previously and talked to previously, and you can have a good time. But that's going to be it for us for tonight. I think next week we're going to talk about some of the craziness going on with game prices. It seems like a lot of them are popping off. We might do a quick recording as a prelude to next Thursday. We'll see what next week holds. But I figured out something today. I was like, how we did the walkthroughs at the convention? Like when I take my walks at work, we could do some little podcasts or a little recording. So, yeah. Later, D-dubs. Nerds. But choose your own adventure and keep it Sega.